podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Network Saturday, March 13th, 2021. This is episode 1778. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Helm. Helm believes that privacy is a right, not a setting. Protect what matters with Helm. Purchase the new Helm V2 and get a coupon for free shipping when you go to thehelm.com/techguy. Coupon will be applied at checkout. And by ITProTV. Expand your skills or launch into a career with IT. Visit ITPro.tv/twit for an additional 30% off all consumer subscriptions for the lifetime of your active subscription. Use the code TWIT30 at checkout. And by Linode. Simplify your cloud infrastructure and cut your cloud bills in half. Get started with Linode today with $100 in free credit. Text TWIT to 474747 or visit linode.com/techguy and click on the Create Free Account button to get started. Well, hey, how are you today? Good to see you. Leo Laporte here. I'm your tech guy. This is where we talk about technology, how to get the most out of it, how to use it, how to lose it, how to abuse it, all that stuff. Phone number 8888-ASK-LEO. That's if you want to call and say hello. I'm here. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, don't worry. Still can call. I'm not going to discriminate against you if you're in Canada. More than welcome to call. All you have to do is, or you're not in Canada, I guess. If you're in Canada, you don't have to worry. The U.S. and Canada. I said that. If you're in any other region, just use Skype. Shouldn't cost you anything to call because it's a toll-free number in the U.S. and Canada. As we said, I'm starting to repeat myself. There's a website. I want to remind you of that because you might be driving around, you might be listening to the show, and I might say something. You go, oh, boy, I should write that down. Don't worry, you don't have to, because guess who? James DeRuvo, our professional scribe, is writing it all down for you. So you just go to that website, techguylabs.com. Everything I say will be there, including links and lists and all sorts. In fact, after the show, we even put the audio and the video of the show. Yes, video. I don't know why. We do video. Put it all up there. And you can go there. And it's free. There's no sign up. You just wander in. There's nothing to do. It's like the old-fashioned internet. TechGuyLabs.com. I encourage you to remember that. I'm a little nervous about what's going on in the United Kingdom. I don't know. It's a different country. I know if you're living in the U.S., you're going, well, what do you care? Well, the UK passed something 5 years ago now called the Snoopers Charter. Well, I don't think Parliament called it the Snoopers Charter, but everybody else calls it the Snoopers Charter. The Parliament called it the Investigatory Powers Act. And one of the powers they gave the police in England, in the United Kingdom, is the power to essentially surveil everybody's web access all the time. So now they're testing it. Took them a while, but they're testing it. Two unnamed internet service providers, probably one of the big ones, a couple of them, when queried about this by wired.co.uk, said, no comment. That means they're probably the ones, right? And the National Crime Agency. Well, we're all against crime. Nobody likes crime. Law and order, it's a good thing. I'm not against it. But I am against what they call fishing expeditions, where they, in effect, it's like gathering the haystack just in case there's a needle in there. Just in case. Then we have the whole haystack. So the Home Office, the National Crime Agency, and two ISPs now, you tell me what you think about this. They're collecting everything you do online. They call it the ICRs, or Internet Connection Records. Everything you do online, except for what you're doing on that page, but which pages you go to, which pages you search for, All of that is being recorded for everyone who uses those ISPs, just in case at some point a crime is committed, and the National Crime Agency needs to, find out what's going on. Now they have everything, right? Because it's too late. Once the crime has occurred, you can't go back in time and say, well, what was that person doing? So they're collecting everything. And by the way, the law, the Investigatory Powers Act, or Snoopers Charter, says that service providers who are doing this cannot talk about it. We have something like that here in the United States, too, I should mention. But nothing like the Snoopers Charter. The apps you use, the domains you visit, domains, not the actual pages, okay, IP addresses, when you begin to use the internet and when you stop using the internet, and the amount of data that's transferred to and from the device. It's not, I think that when they passed it, they said, well, don't worry. We're not collecting information about the actual pages you visit or what you do on those pages, just the fact that you visited. But as I think a lot of us now know, if you collect that, they call it metadata. There's a lot you can tell from metadata. I like the one privacy advocate said it's like collecting the whole haystack for a couple of needles. Just get the whole thing. You never know. They're trialing it. They can do it by law. And I suspect, I know this happens. Our Congress looks over the Atlantic and says, well, that worked. Let's try it here. They're doing that already with what happened in Australia. I don't know if you know. The Australians proposed a bill that would essentially tax links. The bill was proposed by Rupert Murdoch and big journalist organizations, newspapers and so forth in Australia, because they said, well, Google, when you do a search result for a news story, it shows the link to the page, but it also shows a little snippet from the link. And they said they should be paying for that snippet. Okay. Google says, you should be paying for the search result. We're sending you traffic worth a lot more. Nobody's going to read the snippet and say, well, I don't need to read the rest of it. No, they use think about your own search use. You search for something. The snippets help you know if that's the page you want. And then if it is, you go to that page. Google says we're driving traffic. Eventually, the law forced Google and Facebook to do deals to pay basically the big companies for those links. And now, U.S. lawmakers are saying, hey, that worked. Let's try it. The Journalism Competition and Preservation Act of 2021 would allow small news outlets to join forces to negotiate as a collective bloc with online content distributors, Facebook and Google, for favorable terms. Favorable terms. The contention is that without, well, here's what Microsoft's president, Microsoft piling on, by the way. Pay no attention to the problems we're having with the Exchange servers. Pay no attention to all those hacks. No. The problem today in America is there's a fundamental lack of competition in search and ad tech markets. It's controlled by Google. By the way, Microsoft is in that market. It's not doing as well. As a result, says Brad Smith, Microsoft president, testifying in front of a Congress this week. As a result, there's a persistent and structural imbalance between a technology gatekeeper and the free press. So go ahead, tax them. Don't tax us. Oh, we're fine. But you can tax Google and Facebook. Okay. Google says Microsoft just is trying to distract you from the horrible hacks. Boy, this was the week, I tell you. Microsoft called it Hafnium, because what they don't want you to do is call it the Exchange server hack. But that's what it is. Microsoft Exchange servers widely used by businesses and government to run their email systems. And, oh, what a mess. What a mess. This hack has now spread to hundreds of thousands of organizations. The patch came out, even though Microsoft knew about it a month before they patched it. The patch came out, but unfortunately, people were hacked before the patch came out. It's just pervasive. It's everywhere. Yeah. And security experts are saying if you're running Exchange email server, which a lot of companies do, assume you've been hacked. Just assume. This is the second one, the second big governmental hack. Remember SolarWinds? Microsoft also involved in that. I'm told I shouldn't use the word hack or hacker. Hackers, some of whom are good people, most of whom are good people. Originally hackers meant the people who, take computer hardware and software and make it do new things, bang on it, hack on it. The idea came from, you're kind of hacking around, like a golfer hacks around, maybe not really with precision, but you're getting things done. Then it kind of came to mean a bad guy. And the folks, there's a whole hacking is not a crime movement. They're asking journalists, if you go to hackingisnotacrime.org, you could see in big letters, hacking is not a crime. They're asking journalists to stop using the term hacker and hacking for evil, vile, menacing exploits. They don't offer an alternative, unfortunately. They say it's law-breaking. They're criminals. That's not what hackers are. Hacking's not a crime. It's the ethical endeavor of exploration and problem solving. I'll agree with that. Unfortunately, language doesn't really lend itself. For a long time, I'm a podcaster. I do podcasts. And for a long time, I said, don't call them a podcast. That's an Apple device. It has nothing to do with an iPod. Don't call them. It's netcasting. You're instead of broadcasting, which is what this show is, broadcast, it's a netcast. It's over the internet. I couldn't convince anybody. I gave in. I said, it's a podcast. Okay, fine. Language does not bend to your will, alas. People use what they use. So hackers. Somebody said maybe call them crackers instead. That's not good either. I think I'm just going to keep using hack and hackers. I'm sorry. But understand, there's a distinction between bad guys doing that and good guys doing that. Call me maybe.
Call me maybe.
No, call me definitely.
Yes, definitely call. Otherwise, you'll just hear Leo drone on.
Oh, thanks a lot. Hello, Kim Shaffa.
Good day. Good day, Sarah.
Good day. Ahoy, hoy. How you doing? How was your week? Good?
I had a good week, yeah.
Everybody in the chat room is saying they're getting their vaccines now. John's getting his vaccine.
Yeah, well, I mean, this week or next week, it opens up to anybody over 16 with pre-existing conditions, so...
I'm fat. I'm not so good looking. Does that count? Fat and ugly should count.
I'm trying to come up with some kind of a...
You're young and beautiful. You don't have to... You're going to get you're last in the line.
I am last in line, but,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that.
I'm back there with you.
It's open to everybody.
I'm just glad
May
John's
1st.
getting it. That way...
check that kp.org.
Yeah, I guess, the company, we're all Kaiser on the company. That's our company insurance.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have that.
Oh, you don't have that?
I'm looking. No, I don't know how he got so special.
Oh, you don't have the email. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no emails. Nothing.
I don't know. It took me a month and a half to 2 months to get my parents an appointment.
Yeah, my mom's got her first, and I think her second's coming up. My sister got one, which is great. It's nice, isn't it? I feel good.
It is.
I feel like the summer's coming.
4th of July party. I'm happy.
Yeah. With a small number of close personal friends.
Everybody's been vaccinated by then. I
mean,
one
one would think. Yeah. Anyway,
anybody who wants to be, I guess I should say.
Who should I talk to?
Let's go to Boca Raton into Max.
You know what that means?
Boca Raton?
Yeah.
Rat mouth.
Yeah.
It's not exactly appealing.
Sounds like something that maybe, Vasco da Gama said, I don't like this area. We're calling it Rat's Mouth. Something like that, way back when. I don't know. Maybe Max will know.
Maybe he knows.
Thank you, Kim. Hi, Max. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hello, Leo. This is Max the Rat calling from Boca Raton.
Hello, Max the
You
Rat.
guys are breaking my heart.
What?
Oh, my God. Leo. Oh, I don't know what to say here. But pleasure talking to you, my friend.
How am I breaking your heart, my buddy?
Well, you called me the rat and all that.
No. You're from the mouth of the rat. I didn't say you're the rat.
I am.
You called yourself the rat. Anyway, you're not a rat. You're my friend Max.
Thank you. Hey, I keep telling you to please come and visit me in this beautiful place I'm living in.
I'm gonna. You know why I know the name Boca Raton? That's where the IBM PC was developed.
Exactly.
The first IBM personal computer, the first Windows. Well, it wasn't Windows at the time. It was DOS, but the first PC.
DOS, yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct. So I'm talking to you on my beautiful, very clear sound OB voice phone, the one you recommended, and I love it.
Yes, OBI, the OBHA. Yes.
OBI, yeah. You hear me loud and clear, right?
It sounds fantastic. Yes.
Yes. So I'd like to bring up to your attention a peculiar problem I ran into regarding the XPS 15, the Dell laptop that you're very fond of.
I am. I have a 13. In fact, I was just yesterday, I bought the 13 at the beginning of 2020. Just yesterday looking at it and thinking how small those bezels are, how nice that screen is, the keyboard feels good. I really like that XPS 13. But what's your problem with your 15?
Well, what I have is pretty much a beefed-up version of the XPS.
Yep.
32 gig of memory.
No, wow.
Terabyte of SSD. That was a pretty good deal back in 2018 at Costco, and I grabbed it. And I love the machine. But a couple of things happened since I got it. First, the LCD display went out last year.
Oh.
It took me a while to get it, but it's fine. Now, the thing that I ran into last week caused me to pull all my hair and end up going shaving my head because I didn't have any hair left.
What made you shave your head, my friend Max?
I'm telling you.
The sun beating down on you in Boca Raton. That's not good.
I know.
Wear a hat.
I'm so frustrated.
Yeah, what's wrong? What's wrong?
As you know, my dear friend, these XPSs coming with the BC 130-watt charger.
Okay.
Well, if you look inside of the male connector of this charger, there's a pin.
Yes.
Multiple pins, one pin.
Yes. I hate it. The good news is on these newer XPSs like the one I have, they no longer use a proprietary Dell charger. They just use USB-C. That's the way it should be for everything.
Exactly. Exactly, sir.
Yeah.
You put your finger right on the button here.
Yes. And I almost electrocuted myself as a result, but go ahead.
So the function of this pin is to communicate to the motherboard.
Right.
What kind of a charger?
I know. I hate that. To make sure that you have an official Dell charger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now.
Hold on just a sec, because I got to take a break. Scott Wilkinson's coming up. Can you just say one thing for me, Max? Could you just say, you look marvelous?
You look marvelous.
Max, hold on, and we'll talk to you off the air. Leo Laporte, we'll figure this out. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. You look. It's not how you feel. It's how you look. And you look marvelous. I'm sorry, Max. Are you Cubano?
I'm sorry?
Are you Cubano?
No. I'm Iranian.
Iranian. Oh, neat. Oh, neat.
Yes, I am one of those infidels. No, I'm not.
No, my Iranian friends all say I'm Persian because they don't want to say I'm Iranian. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But it's true. You're Persian. Yeah.
Yes, I'm Persian, been here for many, many years.
Nice.
Since 1972, before you were born. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I wish. Since I graduated from high school. How about that?
Yes.
So, Max, so you have that pin. It's the pin that says, yes, this is Dell. Okay. What's going on? Is it bent?
So this is what happens. If the signal that emits from that pin into the motherboard somehow gets lost or the motherboard doesn't know what's going on with the charger because of degradation of the hardware in the connector, the charging port, or whatever the hell it is. Then all of a sudden, the laptop goes to slow mode. 0.78 gigahertz.
Oh, that's annoying.
Everything.
So this is because you're running off the You're running off the charger, not the battery.
I always run off the charger. The laptop always plugged.
It's always plugged in. Yeah.
Always.
Can you remove on that 2018? You probably can't. There's no easy way to remove the battery, right?
Well, so I'll tell you what happened. So I had to take it to some place over here. They did it. So the trick is this. For your audience, if they run into this situation with the standard 130 watts and all of a sudden the laptop slows down, the first thing they should do is to go and open the task manager. Look at the performance and see what the processor speed is.
Right.
If it says 0.78 or 0.8, such a ridiculous low number, even though the base frequency is 2.85 and most of the time runs at 3.25 anyway, then all they have to do is to remove the battery if they can or take it somewhere and put it back in. It will fix the problem.
Yep. That's. I guess it's doing that because it won't charge. It thinks it can't charge if you're working at full speed and you're trying to charge your battery. I guess that's but it's dumb. It's dumb.
Dell knows about this. Dell knows about this. So finally they came out with the Dell brand 130 watt charger USB-C. I'm gonna get it.
Oh, good.
They already come out with that.
Oh, good.
$80.
So you could do it. You have a USB-C charging port. It's just.
I have a Lightning port. Good. So that really took me. Because I've been listening to you for so many years, I've gained some knowledge about this stuff. But trying to figure this out, why all of a sudden my laptop went so slow, it was just driving me crazy. You run all kind of diagnostics, support.
I really appreciate that, because if somebody calls me now, I will know to look at that. That's a really good tip. Thank you, Max.
So I think all the folks who have the XPS 15 should invest and get this Dell brand charger USB-C.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
No problem anymore.
Perfect.
So that's essentially what I was going to talk to you about. And also regarding the about your new car, Mach-E.
Yes.
I want to buy one because you like it.
I love it.
Okay. So I'm waiting for the one with the GT version.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, Max. That one is going to be greased lightning. That's going to be amazing.
Exactly. So for me to do that, I have to have a charger. I live in a condo right now.
Get an RV charger. You might be able to get an RV charger in that condo.
I'm buying a new home. I'm buying a
Perfect.
New home.
So what I have is a NEMA 1450, which is the RV charger, and that gives you level 2 charging, overnight charging. It works great. I got to run, Max. Pleasure to talk to you. See you later, sir. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I got to tell you about something new that I really love. Now, this is actually not new to me. It may not be new to you if you remember we talked, I guess it was about a year ago, to Geary from Helm. We had him on the new screensavers. So it must have been a little more than a year ago. And then I went out and bought one. The idea of the Helm, I learned about it first on Hacker News. The idea of Helm is it's a server that lets you run, well, initially get your own email, but also control your own data out of your house. It's a really clever idea. I've been using it since they came out with it. And now version 2 is here with some real enhancement and a lower price. Helm lets you do your email. So it's running your email server. So if you're worried about big tech and the cloud and what they do with the information they get from your email and your data and your files, this is something for you. It's a server you run in your house that's specially designed so that it works with your internet service provider. It works with all email recipients, and that's hard to do. Helm's done a lot of very interesting stuff to make this work. Pricing is now 60% lower than in version 1. Starts at $199, and it's twice the value. You get double the storage, double the memory. It was this. In fact, I have it in the other room. I don't want to disconnect it because I'm using it, but I'll go get it. But it was a triangle. It was a really cool looking triangle. Well, now they've made it so it's rackable. So it's out of the way. It's small. You can see it at the bottom of the screen here. It really is cool. Better form factor. Comes in 5, 12, and terabyte capacities, and you can use an external drive so you can expand storage. Why let Google or Microsoft have all that information about you when you could do it yourself with Helm? And easily. It's engineered to be secure, to protect your data, give you control of your data. The Helm itself is using full disk encryption. Keys are managed by a secure enclave and secure boot, so it can't be hacked, can't be modified. They give you backup, encrypted offsite backups with a unique private security key. This is my Helm key. I keep it here so that if anything would happen to my Helm, I still have the ability to get my data back using the key on this USB key, my Helm key. You get TLS encryption with certificates for your domain from Let's Encrypt. So I have a custom domain that all that email goes directly to the Helm. It's very clever. It uses proximity-based two-factor authentication with your iOS or Android device. You put the Helm app on there, and you can only set up an account by standing next to it, which is brilliant. No hacker can get to it. Personal server, too, now. They use Nextcloud, so it's really, really sweet. You get privacy by design, privacy by default, truly private emails, safe calendars and contacts. You can store your files there, your photos there. That's the Helm personal server powered by Nextcloud. Everything Helm does is designed to keep your data safe, secure, and accessible only to you. You buy the Helm, starts at $199. The yearly service is $99. That gives you constant updates, ongoing state-of-the-art protection and security updates. It gives you storage of your off-site encryption backups, so your data is never at risk, but they never can see it because it's encrypted, as I said, using your Helm personal key, so no one can see it except you. By the way, some new services coming along. You'll get access to those. I'm really excited. I can't tell you yet, but there's some very good stuff coming along. It's accessible from anywhere in the world. You get domain registration. You get management. So you need the server, $199, depending on how much storage or more. And then you get the $99 a year service, and you're getting the most secure personal data storage email. Connect Helm to your home network. You'll get uncompromising personal data privacy and security. It was back when we interviewed Gary, it was named Time's 100 Best Inventions of 2019. So it's still very cool. In fact, was really glad to hear from Gary because they're making it better and better and better. Helm believes privacy should be a right, not a setting. If you feel the same way, protect what matters with Helm. Purchase the Helm V2. You'll get a coupon for free shipping when you go to thehelm, TheHelm.com/techguy. If you already have a Helm, check out their new referral program. Get $25 off for a friend and $25 off for your subscription renewal. That's a good deal. That gets it down to less than $75 a year. Go to thehelm.com/techguy. If you looking to protect yourself, to get off the cloud, get your stuff safe and sound in your house, thehelm.com/techguy. It's a really great idea. There's much more to the trip. That's the hip guy right there, Scott Wilkinson, our home theater geek. Joins us every week, talk about home theater and surround sound, thin screen TVs. I was watching the new Spike Lee movie last night, The Five Bloods.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, because I think there's it kind of got snubbed for the Golden Globes, but there's. It's on the short list for Oscar contenders, and I try to catch up, and all that stuff.
Sure.
And it's on Netflix, 4K HDR, and it was driving Lisa saying this is too much like real life. I want a movie. I want a movie. Can we watch a movie tonight? This is like a documentary, and it's true. He must have shot it digitally at high frame rate, maybe, but
maybe
no attempt to make it the dreamy look that we're used to with movies.
Cinematic or filmic, as they call it.
I think we're going to have to get used to this because I suppose this is the future. But boy,
I think so.
It's a little disconcerting. It takes,
UHD 4K has within it not only increased number of pixels, but also high frame rate and high dynamic range.
Yeah.
Which looks more like what you see when you look out at the world. It's not the same still. You can still see a greater dynamic range when you look out in the world than you can even on a high dynamic range content on a high dynamic range capable display. But it's closer. It looks more like real life. My wife has made the same complaint.
It looks too much like real life. It's like you're watching a documentary or you're watching, sometimes we say soap opera, but it's really more like you're just there with them. And it's kind of disconcerting.
See, I like that myself.
She asked me, is there a setting on the TV that I could use to make that go away? and I mean, I've already turned off, as I hope everyone listening has, interpolation, the high frame rate.
Frame interpolation.
Yeah, the 120 hertz or 240 hertz on some TVs.
Yep.
There's different names, so I can't tell you what the name is on your TV. But
exactly, and this is a problem. Don't get me started.
It makes it look plasticky, even though Hollywood hates it too, because it's not the way they make. But I already have that turned off on my LG.
Right.
Is there anything else I can do? Is there a 24 frame mode or something like that?
Not if the content coming in is higher than that.
Yeah.
I don't think. I'd have to, I've never actually thought about that. If you get a high frame rate content coming in, such as Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk.
That's another one where you... and
Gemini Man is another one.
Yeah. And Anne Wang shot Billy Lynn in close-up with no makeup on purpose.
At 120 frames per second.
Yeah, he knew this would have this hyper-real thing, and he wanted that.
Yeah.
And I suppose, you're right, I suppose in years to come, everybody will laugh at us. Because
we only, you and I and most of us who watch movies only complain about it, and I don't really complain, but most people complain about it because that's what we're used to, 24 frames per second. That's what's been going on for the last 100 years.
Yeah. Originally, to save film stock, it was a cheapskate move, but as it turns out...
Right.
The other day I wish I could remember who it was. I was listening to somebody talk and say, we are good at virtual reality. It's called movies. We are able to project onto a screen. You're sitting in a room with a bunch of people or at home, projecting onto a screen, flickering images, mixing it with, writing, acting, and music to evoke strong emotions like you're living it. It's virtual reality. But I'm beginning to think one of the things that's key to this is that dreamy 24 frames a second, where it's not real reality. It's this, almost supports you into this dream state. And then
that's a good point.
And then it really is more emotionally impacting. And I feel like it's not as emotionally impacting if it's, I imagine Spike Lee did this on purpose. I mean,
I don't know. I haven't looked at DeFore Blood's, the technical part of it, to see if he shot it at high frame rate. Now you've got me interested. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah.
And look it up on IMDb and see if, or somewhere else online and see if I can find out if he shot it at high frame rate.
Not everything looks like that on Netflix. So I know that it was something that was going on. He also does something interesting, which is he changes the aspect ratio of the screen depending on whether we're looking at something that was Vietnam era, modern era.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah. He has three.
IMAX movies do that sometimes.
Yeah. He's got 4 different aspect ratios in the movie.
And did you notice them when they happen?
Yeah, because he does a slow dissolve. He does it on purpose so that you notice it's going from 4:3
from one to another?
and it slowly dissolves to widescreen. Yeah. It's really interesting.
Well, you'd certainly notice that, yeah.
Yeah.
Some IMAX movies do that, but they do it suddenly, and sometimes you don't even notice. That just change.
They just switch. If they do a smash cut, a sudden jump cut, you might not notice it. But clearly, Lee wanted you to see that happen.
Exactly right.
It's interesting because it's an ensemble film, so it's really about the characters and close-ups of the characters and their different personalities. And but when it's that real, it's a different experience. So you think we'll get used to it?
I do. The next generation, anyway. You and I may never get used to it, but certainly the youngsters coming up will when they see more of it and they're exposed to it, they'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. There's some Super 8 footage in it too, which is
Oh, wow.
yeah. One of the characters has a Super 8 camera and is shooting stuff, and sometimes they go to his Super 8 footage, and that's another aspect ratio.
Another movie we just saw, which was ensemble and basically just 4 people, was One Night in Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that too. That's also on the short list. Yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
very, very, very well worth it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your segment.
Well, I did want to quickly mention that I've got a new article up on projectorcentral.com.
Okay.
Usually I'm on techhive.com, but now I'm on Projector Central as well. I am occasionally, and I wrote this very extensive, very comprehensive piece on high dynamic range. We were talking about that earlier. High dynamic range, which on a TV such as you have, the LG OLED TV, or I have a Sony OLED TV, it looks really good. On projectors, it's another story because the OLEDs and LCD TVs can get much brighter and much darker than projectors can. So projectors really don't have much more dynamic range than standard dynamic range. And yet they are capable of accepting a high dynamic range signal and displaying it in some way. So how do they do that?
Yeah.
How do they do that? Well, you go to projectorcentral.com and read my very extensive article on that.
This is the Bible on HDR. This is fantastic.
It really is. I spent a lot of time on that.
HDR from A to Z.
Yep.
Oh, man. If you're trying to understand what high dynamic range means, what it does, how it works, and
especially how it works on projectors.
Yeah. This is
as well as
fantastic article. Thank you for writing that.
Thank you. Oh, my pleasure. I'm happy to. It was a labor of love for sure, because HDR to me is far more important in the next generation of television than the increased number of pixels. Right?
I think we're all in agreement on that. That's the
there's no question about it. But I think there's less understanding about it. That's
Do you
why
have to? Are there HDR HD TVs, or are they all 4K?
No, they're all. It's all 4K.
So it's hard for us.
Shame.
Yeah, it's hard for us to know what HDR is adding to it compared to higher pixel density, right?
Exactly, which is why the manufacturers all focused on 4K, 4 times more pixels.
It's really the HDR. Yeah.
But it's really the HDR that's going to make the big difference, and high frame rate, as you started off the segment.
And high frame rate, yeah.
That is going to make a huge difference, and some people might like it, some people might not, but everybody likes HDR, no question.
It's all changing. Technology is bringing us into a new era of entertainment.
Yep,
read all about it. Projectorcentral.com. It's right there on the front page. HDR from A to Z by this guy here, our home theater geek, Scott Wilkinson. Scott, great to see you. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Scott's zoomed in a little bit. Is that...
I am zoomed in a little bit.
Are you on Zoom?
I am on Zoom.
Oh!
And I am zoomed in more than usual.
Go to video settings.
Hang on a second. Zoom. Preferences. Video. Mirror my
Click
video
HD.
Or original? Oh, HD, okay. Now
you look really good.
So sorry I didn't have that set.
That's okay. And even though your wife is doing a Zoom meeting at the same time, this looks fantastic.
She is. She's doing a Zoom meeting at the same time.
I think we're moving to Zoom. Seriously, Alex Lindsay made a strong pitch for it.
Yeah.
And he's used everything. And everybody knows how to use it, which is nice. Everybody's got it these days.
Everybody's got it these days. Yeah, exactly. Should I brighten it up a little bit?
No, it did brighten. Somehow something happened to brighten it up.
Well, I went to my default, my preset.
Perfect. This looks perfect.
So it looks good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Hey, if we can go to Zoom, I mean, I've been using Zoom all year. So
yeah, you're comfortable. Yeah. We were going to buy accounts for each of our machines, but for now, I think we'll just use Zoom certainly for this on one of their.
Yeah, I mean, free Zoom is for up to 40 minutes, I believe.
Well, we're on a Zoom Pro account.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then
I have to talk to the Zoom folks and see what we can do. I think you have to ask them for 1080p. So.
Oh.
And we would love to get the original in 1080p.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, you got a couple minutes?
Well, good. Hey there, everybody. So glad to see you all. Mike B says, video looks amazing and no sync issues. Woohoo.
Yeah.
So maybe we finally found the solution.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be great? Tech Dino, I look marvelous. Well, so do you. And I'm happy to say, I mentioned it in the chat room, we just got our second shot on Wednesday.
Yay, congratulations.
So thank you. In another 2 weeks, we will be fully protected.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're very happy about that.
Yeah,
we felt kind of funky.
I'm not in line.
You're not in line. No. You're not 65 yet.
I'm under 65. My A1C is under 7.5. My BMI is under 40.
Okay.
There's not. I qualify for none of the.
Yeah, actually, diabetes is one of the qualifiers now, I think.
Yeah, but I have
Monday.
type 2, but you have to be 7.5 or higher. And actually, my A1C is pretty normal. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer to. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
It's a toss up. I don't know. Maybe I should have stayed sick a little longer. That's all right. I'll get it.
You'll get it. Yeah,
next month.
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, next month probably.
Yeah.
How were the effects of the second shot? I felt kind of funky for a couple days, really tired. My arm where I got the shot was really sore for a day. And my wife about the same. She had more reaction to the first shot, actually. She had aches all over and felt quite flu-like for a couple of days. But we're now coming back to normal. And I'm hoping, see, the one thing that we don't know yet about this vaccine, and I'm really frustrated about it, is how long the protection lasts. We just don't know.
Yeah, because they couldn't test that.
They couldn't test that. They couldn't take the time. So
can you stick around for the top of the hour?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Right.
Happy to.
Talk to you in a few. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I love David Clayton Thomas. Isn't he good? Oh, man. Troy on the line from Fontana, California. Hello, Troy.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
Wonderful. How are you today?
Good. I called a few weeks ago asking about live broadcasting for church services.
Yes.
And I have a follow-up question. So basically, I learned about OBS Project.
Yes.
And what I'm not understanding is the CDN aspect of it. I was able to test it out, and I was able to broadcast through our website live using YouTube, but we don't want to use YouTube or Vimeo so that there's no click outs to go to, the rest of YouTube or whatever. So
you can basically do YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live. I think probably all of them have. I understand for a church it's a little challenging because you don't want to have you don't want to have at the end of the service a recommendation to, bikini-rich content. So,
correct.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And you said you can go to Vimeo? I didn't know you could go to Vimeo with OBS.
Yeah, actually OBS. So if you extend it out, it recommends about 4 or 5 different.
Vimeo would be a good choice. Vimeo doesn't do any of that.
Well, they still have the click out link in the Vimeo screen. Do you know anything about Icecast, Shoutcast?
That's audio.
That's what we're wanting to do is just audio.
Oh, if all you care about is audio, yeah. That's a great way to go. In fact, that's how we stream our content. So we stream audio and video. And the video, we use all of the above I just mentioned. But for audio, yeah, Shoutcast or the open source version of Shoutcast, which is Icecast, essentially is streaming MP3. So the quality is very good. They now support other codecs as well. I would totally look now, the problem with Icecast is that you would host yourself. So what you want to look at is, I presume you don't want to host the stream.
So what I want to do is have a web page on our website that you can go to, and it'll play whether you push play or automatically play, just like a YouTube window.
John, what do you know? Let me ask my studio manager, John Slanina. John, do you know what we're using these days? Because I know we moved to a service that does hosted Shoutcast or hosted Icecast. Shoutcast will do it for you. But so you need somebody, basically what you need, there's a couple of things you need. First of all, a converter that will take your audio and convert it into the Icecast or Shoutcast format, which is streaming MP3. And then you need...
OBS do that?
Yeah, OBS probably would. I would expect it to, but I would look at it. And then you can... you need to stream it to an endpoint, which could be, you could run it on your own server, but I don't think you're going to want to. That's expensive and complicated, especially, how many people are you going to have listening at the same time?
Anywhere from maybe 20 to 50, not a whole lot.
Yeah. John's not responding. Yeah, but I understand, John, but we go to an endpoint that is a commercial service for, he's talking to me in my ear, that is an endpoint for a commercial service for streaming. And we just moved, and I probably could search through my messages, but we just moved to a new company that hosts those. And I'm sure it's pretty inexpensive. I just don't remember who it is. You could do it yourself, putting a Icecast server on something like DigitalOcean, which might be fairly inexpensive. How techie are you? How much?
Yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out. Whatever
Yeah.
I need to do.
So,
right now we're using Mixler. We just don't like the service.
Yeah. So understand that what YouTube, Twitch, Mixler, all these others do, they have their own servers. You create the stream, which you send to them, and then they rebroadcast it. So when people are clicking the link or going to your website, they're getting it from those services. It's the same thing with YouTube. You don't want to host video yourself. It's just expensive and complex, especially when there are solutions out there that are inexpensive or free, as YouTube is. I would look at shoutcast.com. They have plans. If it's too much, you might look at setting up a Icecast, which is the open source version of this, server on DigitalOcean or somewhere like that, or our sponsor Linode. You essentially, they have all the bandwidth, right? So when people click the link or go to your website, what they're really doing is getting it from that. You use the term CDN. That's kind of what it is. CDN is a little bit different, but that's the idea. Content delivery network. So you want somebody to serve
like a $10 a month service.
Yeah.
That I was looking at.
A lot of people do radio shows on Shoutcast. They even have a free, low-level tier. You have so few listeners that I think it's conceivable that you could actually get away with a free tier. But if you'd use the premium tier, like you said, $10 a month, there'll be no ads in it or anything like that. And it's if you just want audio, that's the easiest thing to do. If you only,
I'd be able to embed the player on our website.
Yeah, and that's simple to do too. There are lots of Icecast or Shoutcast players. In fact, Shoutcast probably offers a player because they're kind of a soup to nuts company. So they're a commercial version of what Icecast is, which is open source.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great, that's what we do. If you go to twit.tv/live, there's video streams there, but there's also audio streams there. And both of them are essentially Icecast streams, streaming MP3s.
Okay, I will give it a try, and I'll let you know how.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, as long as you don't care about pictures, it's much more economical, much easier to do. You just need a microphone.
Yeah, and we're coming in through a USB audio card through the laptop. So
yeah, and the laptop can run the Shoutcast server software that converts it and then sends it to they're an endpoint, so it sends it to the endpoint, and then they rebroadcast it.
Do I even need to use OBS Studio then?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
Shoutcast will give you some software that encodes. What you need is something that encodes. OBS Studio does it, but it's designed for video. It has a lot more features than you need. You just need something that takes the audio, turns it into an MP3 stream, and sends it off to the Shoutcast server. Shoutcast will have something like that.
Okay.
I ended up getting a little hardware box to do it. If you end up wanting to do this kind of forever, and you should. This is one thing we've all benefited from in the quarantine. We got to find the silver linings to this dark cloud. We've learned new ways to kind of find an audience off-site. So if you're a church or a synagogue or a temple and you want to, bring your sermons to people who can't come to the church, and there'll always be some people like that, this is a great solution. Then they can just open the web page and listen to the sermon as it's going live. You could even rebroadcast it, over and over and so forth. It's like a radio station. There's Live 365 does that as well, more for radio, but I would look at Shoutcast. I like it. Like I said, that's what we use. A lot of broadcasters use that. Good going. Tony, they're lucky to have you. You're helping them get the job done. That's fantastic. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Take a little teeny-weeny break for news at the top of the hour. Lots more calls coming up right after this. Stay here. All right, Scotty. All right. It's a little low for you right now. Your audio is a little low. I don't know if you have
my input's up almost.
You might be maxed up. Yeah. I think maybe
not 100%, but almost.
Go ahead. Go to 100.
I can do it a little bit higher.
Yeah, go all the way.
Test 1 2.
Yeah,
1
that's
2.
better.
Test 1 2.
There's probably something in Zoom as well, because it was okay before, so it's something.
Oh, okay.
Some Zuma
preferences, audio.
Boy, I don't know. We should have used this years ago. Criminally.
Let's see. Suppress background noise is low. Original sound, echo cancellation.
Do we turn that off, John? Do we leave that on? We don't know yet.
Echo cancellation generally should be left on, I think.
Actually, vice versa. We always leave that off because you're wearing headphones.
Right, correct.
So you don't need it.
That's right. I don't need it. That's correct.
So I would turn off any automated stuff except, I would turn off any automated stuff. I think we want to do everything manual.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, but we're just learning ourselves, so I don't, we don't know.
Right.
With Skype, we always had you turn that off, so.
Right. So I do have original sound turned on because I've learned that's...
What's the opposite?
I don't know.
Yeah, the original sound sounds right. Anyway, it's fine. It's not that low. I can boost it here, too.
Okay. Well, I boosted it a little bit.
You're maxed out here as well. That's
okay. Well, then that's a little something. Retcon 5. But keep your lava lamp on. Yes, I will, certainly. People were asking me which vaccine I got. My wife and I got the Pfizer. And so that's what that is. User, I think it's 2685, was asking about smaller OLEDs, and Twisted Mister was giving good advice on that. He wanted something under 50 inches. And the good news is that LG makes a 48-inch, the 48C10 or CX. I think LG made a big mistake by using the Roman numeral for the number 10 in its annual update of model numbers. Model numbers are a whole subject. One of these days I'm going to write an article about it because model numbers do give you some information, but you have to sort of know what you're looking at to get it. For example, in TVs, almost all model numbers have the size of the screen. So 48, 50, 55, 65, 75, 77, 85, 98. All TV model numbers have that number in there somewhere. And most of them also indicate what model year it is. So LG had the C6, C and E and G and W. These are all different levels or tiers of product with different capabilities, but they always ended with a number. 6, I think, was 2016, 7 was 2017, 8 was 2018, and so on, until they got to 2020, and they said, we're going to make that an X. What? That doesn't make any sense. And now, for 2021, they've gone back to 1. So, it's all very perplexing. But anyway, to answer user 2685's question, the LG 48-inch 48CX or C10 is very highly regarded. My friend Mike, who in the chat room is known as Mike Mann, I don't know if he's in here today, uses a 48CX as a mastering monitor. So that tells you something about how good it is. And he's a professional video editor. So that is highly recommended. Twisted Mister also says, though, don't keep static images on it for very long. And that's true. I agree with that, because OLED can suffer from image retention or even burn-in. Not as bad as plasma. I wouldn't worry about it as much as plasma. But if you are, for example, watching CNN all day, every day, with the ticker along the bottom, that strip will eventually start to be retained in the image, even when you're watching something else. So it's good not to have that on all day, every day. Move around a little bit if you can. Video games, yes, can have that problem as well. Tokyo Tony, static images like the background we are seeing now. No, this is, well, it's a semi static background, but you're not going to be here all day, every day for days on end. And that's really what it takes for it to be a problem. Yes, Chumley, the next one maybe should have been CXI. I think they made a mistake with the X. Phoenix Warp 1, the alternative is Fox News. Well, the alternative is whatever you want. Just don't stay wherever it is for a very long time if there's a static part of the image. Who was it just around here said, Alan Gabriel, that video games sometimes have a scoreboard or some sort of static image. And if you play video games like some people do for hours and hours and hours on end every day, yes, that scoreboard or that static element could become a problem. Dr. Bob Grandma, that's why I listen to you on streaming audio only. So far, my ears show no sign of burning in. Very good. Very good. Jay asks, will that image fade after long use without the burned-in image? Generally, yes. This is the difference between image retention and burn-in. Image retention is temporary. Burn-in is permanent. So, yes, you image retention is fine. And, in fact, most OLED TVs have a image retention prevention control that, and in fact, the Sony that I have does it every so many hours of use. It just automatically does it. It says, okay, we're going to do this next time you turn the TV off. So I turn the TV off and it does it. Runs I don't remember exactly what it is, runs a black stripe across the screen for a few minutes or something and tries to exercise all the pixels equally. Let's see, Bill, how much time have I got? Have I got a lot of time left?
You don't see my screen anymore?
I do. I'm not used to going to Zoom to see
right
to see the feedback or the talkback. So I only have 50 seconds left. Yeah. So let's see here. What do I recommend in the 32 to 40 inch range? I don't really look at TVs that small. Brands I would look at are Sony. I wouldn't look at LG. Vizio, TCL might have something that small.
Thank you, Scott. Have a wonderful week.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Zooming. This seemed to work quite well.
Let's keep zooming. Yeah. Fantastic. Great.
All right. Take care.
Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.
Well, hey. How are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time for Tech Talk. Computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. We could talk about home theater. We just did, didn't we? We could talk about, I don't know, anything on your mind. If it's got a chip in it, I guess I could talk about it. Electric vehicles. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number, 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Johnny Jett, our travel guru, joins us in half an hour. He, of course, talks about traveling better with technology. Let's go on with the calls, though. Franklin's on the line from beautiful Maui. Hello, Franklin.
Yeah, thank you. WH6DSF here, Leo.
Nice to meet you.
Your ham license, too.
Yep, W6TWT. I don't get on the air very often because I spend so much time on the air in broadcast. But
is it okay to ask you a ridiculously kind of techie question about NVIDIA graphics processing units?
Yeah.
What is CUDA? What is OpenCL? I need this for DaVinci Resolve, and it won't even turn on.
Yeah. So these toolkits, frameworks are low-level ways for software to interact with the graphics card. So CUDA is an NVIDIA technology specific to NVIDIA. You might have heard of OpenGL in the past.
I thought that was a typo.
No, it's not, unfortunately. You might have heard of Apple has something called Metal, even going back to the days of Windows DirectX. All of these were ways for applications to get better performance out of a graphics processor, essentially. And
so I'm upgrading my studio. I got to quit using Kdenlive to make videos.
Which is, by the way, an excellent open source choice.
Oh, God, I've made some amazing things. My music with Kdenlive. The problem is that you have to render the whole thing if you really want to see what it's going to look like.
Well, and DaVinci Resolve is free. Is it available for Linux as well?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
And I have it installed. And
nice. This is
16 installed just to test it out on my Skull Canyon.
So the key is for you, because you're running Linux, to make sure you're using the proprietary drivers. You're not using the open source Linux drivers. You have to be using NVIDIA's drivers.
Indeed.
I don't know if you are. If you are and you still don't get CUDA, then it's possible that NVIDIA did not put CUDA in those drivers. It's a driver-level feature.
I can't get support from, they just sort of just...
Yeah, because you're Linux. They don't, Oh, there, guys.
Music ever with Linux?
Oh, I think Linux is fantastic. And you know what? People are learning. I don't think that prejudice is rapidly going away. And to NVIDIA's credit, unlike other companies, they at least make drivers for their hardware. I mean, a lot of companies don't make, their own drivers. So,
I'm investing heavily, getting a Nikon Z7, and it's being converted so it outputs BRA, which I think is perfect for Hawaii.
Hey, BRA, output BRA. I guess that's their version of RAW?
Right.
Okay. BRA. Okay. Yeah, everybody has their own version of RAW, which is funny. I'm looking, it does look like there is a CUDA toolkit that you might need to install independently of the NVIDIA drivers. That's also from NVIDIA. So look for their NVIDIA in their developer zone. I'm looking at a page that says NVIDIA CUDA installation for Linux. So
it's sort of like I'm in this area where I'm supposed to be some sort of a computer genius.
That's right.
I'm like a drunken sailor. At one point,
even a drunken sailor sobers up eventually.
I installed something called what was it called? Fake root.
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I lost my pseudo privileges on my computer.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, you got to be careful of stuff like that. Yeah. So here's the thing: Linux, which is a free open source operating system that is essentially attempting to be somewhat like a Unix. It's when Linus Torvalds, who created it in the 90s, created it, he said, I always call him Linus, but you're right, he pronounces it Linus. My name is Linus Torvalds. I pronounce Linux.
Yeah.
That was, for a long time, Linux came with a sound file of Linus explaining how to pronounce his name in Linux, and it's burned into my brain. My name is Linus Torvalds, and I pronounce Linux. Anyway, Linus,
doctorate.
He's a brilliant guy, and he was trying to create something that was POSIX, or going towards POSIX compliance. In other words, somewhat like a Unix. So this is a very powerful operating system, and because it's so powerful, you can get in a lot of trouble, especially when you're not operating as a normal user, but when you start operating as a root with either sudo or sudo or as su or fake root. As soon as you start being root, you can erase your drive with a three-letter command. You know, it's easy. So therein lies the problem.
Yeah. So, anyways, I did manage to get back in there and get sudo turned back on.
Good. See, you're learning. So you're sobering up right now as we speak, and that's
I spent like probably about $1,200 for an external enclosure. I got the NVIDIA card.
Nice.
It's a RTX 4000.
So it's a CUDA capable GPU.
But DaVinci Resolve really wants OpenCL. Okay,
right.
And you can pick between CUDA or OpenCL, and you got to keep in mind here, Leo. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
So these are merely, just think of this as ways for these programs to be faster.
Okay.
It does parallel processing and so forth. So as you can tell, Resolve runs fine without it.
No, I haven't. But no, I can't get it to come on. I'm going to buy it.
Oh, don't buy it. So you're saying it won't run unless you have CUDA or OpenCL installed?
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, that'd be stupid on my part. My techie friend said, "Hey, you can make 17 run. It'll just run slow."
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
16 I've got on my little Skull Canyon thing, and I boot it up, and it goes, yeah, you got 32 gigs of RAM, that's pretty good, and i7, okay. And then it goes, oh, no, OpenCL graphics processing.
OpenCL is kind of deprecated, to be honest with you. I don't... it is the open. See, the problem with CUDA is it's proprietary. It's NVIDIA proprietary. You're on an open source operating system. It wants to do the open thing, but I don't know what kind of support for you. This is going to take some research for you on OpenCL support in NVIDIA. It looks like it will. They have an OpenCL driver.
CUDA is better then?
Yeah, CUDA probably performs better. You have OpenCL built into your NVIDIA drivers. CUDA, you'd have to add additional drivers, but OpenCL is already built in. So if you don't see OpenCL, I don't know what's going on. Make sure you're using the latest.
I've got this external enclosure. It's got these fancy lights in it, and and I've got it connected via a USB.
This does not help you at all. Fancy lights, in fact, don't solve the problem, as you've learned.
It's $1,200.
I understand, but that even doesn't solve it, does it? You can throw money at a problem like this, and it's not really going to help you. Yeah, I would. Gosh, I don't know.
Do you think there's anybody that I could maybe give them a $5 or give them a little money for their time?
No, you're going to do it. You're going to do it, drunken sailor. You can do it. Okay. Franklin, I have faith in you. The key is to do some research. You'll find everything you need for OpenCL and CUDA on NVIDIA's sites.
Yeah.
You have a nice NVIDIA card. The beauty of being in the Linux world is there's a great supportive community because there's no company out there like Microsoft or Apple to help you. The community does it. So you can Google everything you need to know you can find and research. And the thing is, you will be stronger for it.
Okay.
What doesn't kill you...
I know. I'm just a musician, Leo. I'm trying to, upgrade my stuff here, but this is like I'm venturing into this.
It's rocket surgery. I understand. You're
supposed to be a computer genius.
No, you're just supposed to be a computer enthusiast.
Okay.
You can do it. You're smart enough to do it. I know you are. And the problem with paying somebody to do it or having somebody do it for you is you'll get stuck again because then you won't know. You need to build up your muscles yourself. You can't have somebody do it for you.
No, thank you, Leo. Thank you,
Franklin. A pleasure. I know it's hard. You got the beach there. It's a beautiful day in Maui.
No, it isn't.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Then this is the time to do it. Today's the day.
Off the road.
Really. Where in Maui are you?
We are in Upper Canayo, and it poured last night. Like nice. I haven't seen it rain in 10 years. Fondest memories of Maui are going to Hana and the 7 waterfalls. We stayed down there for a few nights and just fell in love. Beautiful area. I like old Hawaii myself. Sounds like you're in a nice area. We live in, we actually are in Hana. So we actually are in Hana District. It's beautiful, yeah. We're off the grid. Yep. Doggone it. And yet you've got CUDA going. That's impressive. Oh no, not yet, but I'm trying. Do you play the slack tuning on your? I play trumpet and piano. I got a couple of new. There's no slack tuning on trumpet, I guess. Well, you can always pull the slider out. Oh yeah. You know? Better yet, just take the mouthpiece out and do duck calls. I love Hawaiian music. Well, it sounds like you're living the life, Franklin. Pleasure to talk to you. I got to run. I really appreciate it, Leo. My pleasure. I'm gonna keep going. Hang in there. You can do it. It's overwhelming and confusing, but I'm here to tell you that you totally can do it, and you will be better for knowing how it works than having somebody else do it, because something else will come up. And kind of honestly, this is kind of the fun of Linux. I know it doesn't maybe feel like fun right now, but it's kind of the fun of it is it's all on you. And this great community that's out there. You can always find help on this. Even though you're not using the Arch distribution of Linux, you're using Ubuntu, the Arch wiki and the Arch community is really good. And a lot of what they have to say is applicable to all versions of Linux. Our show today brought to you by our podcast today, brought to you by ITProTV. You know I love ITProTV. I consider them really good friends. They've been advertising with us since they started in the very early days of ITProTV. Tim and Don, Tim Broom, Don Pizzette, who were IT trainers, saw what we were doing at TWiT. They saw a little panel that I was a part of, along with Adam Carolla and some others at the NAB show. And they said, hey, they scratched their heads. They said, hey, maybe we could do IT training this way. Oh, a light bulb went off over their head, and ITProTV was born. That's back in 2013, and now here we are some years later. They started advertising with us right back then, and over time now they've got almost 225,000 subscribers because, frankly, it's the best way to learn IT skills. Now, there's 2 reasons you might want to learn those skills. One, you might want a job in IT, and really, for the most part, to get a job in IT, you need to get a certification. There are a whole lot of different certifications, but it proves to the prospective employer that even though you're new to IT, you've never worked in the field professionally, you know your stuff. Generally, if you want to get those certifications, you study for them. You can buy books. You can go to a technical school. The best, fastest, easiest, most entertaining way to do this is ITProTV. And man, they have all the certs everybody wants. They are the official training partner with CompTIA. So they've got the A+, Security Plus, and Network Plus certs. Those are the certs most people start with. If you're interested in Cisco, this is a great time because March is Cisco month at ITProTV. 12 Cisco courses will be featured, including CCNA, CCNP, CCT, Encore, SLED, and an RC. Wow. Now, those certs are great for if you're starting out, but they're also great for people who are already in IT who want to polish their skills. That's the other reason people go to ITProTV. IT is a constantly changing field. That's why we love it. Always something new to learn, new versions of software, and new areas to expand into. Maybe it's time you're a desktop support guy, but you want to learn more about security, or you're a security guy and you want to learn more about administration of systems, things like that. ITProTV has 7 studios running full-time Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. because they're keeping this stuff up to date. They've got the best teachers there. They're really developed from the ground up to support online IT training, and not just for people getting into the field, but for IT leaders and employers too. It's part of the ACI Learning portfolio of audit, cyber, and IT learning solutions for consumers and enterprises. 5,800 hours of engaging video training online and on demand. Courses in everything: malware detection, cryptography, pen testing, end user security awareness,
and a lot more to train your end users. Check out their webinar this Cisco month with Cisco Award winner David Bombal. It's called Getting Hands-On with Cisco. It's on demand. On demand right now. They did it a couple of days ago, but they have an on-demand version at itpro.tv/webinars. ITProTV also is helping the community. They serve 30-plus COVID-impacted educational institutions by offering them free training. You're going to love it, and I want you to get it right now. Go to itpro.tv/twit. If you use the offer code TWIT30, it's 30% off all consumer subscriptions. As long as you stay active, 30% off. itpro.tv/twit. Offer code TWIT30. ITProTV. Build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey. They're great guys, too. ITProTV. ITProTV is itpro.tv/twit. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, the dream police, are inside of my head. 8888, ask Leo. That's Professor Laura, our musical director. She likes to send me coded messages via the songs. I don't know what that one. I don't know. You're in my head. That's the message. Don on the line from Culver City. Hello, Don.
Hey, Leo. Thanks for taking my call again.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling. What can I do for you?
I think it was last week you talked about upgrading from Windows 7 to Windows 10.
Yes.
For free.
Yes.
I don't have that. It's quote. I'm asking for a friend.
So when Microsoft first came out with Windows 10 years ago, they said for the first year, for a limited time, anybody using Windows 8.1 or 7 can upgrade to Windows 10 for free. And once having done so, you own it forever. And they also said, this is the last version of Windows, so you're in. Theoretically, they turned that off after a year, but what many have noticed is it doesn't seem to be turned off. In other words, if you just did the upgrade to Windows 10, and you'll see there is a way to do that right without exiting Windows, just inside of Windows. I can't remember what it is, but maybe hit Windows key and type upgrade. I bet you can do that. And upgrade to Windows 7, they're going to imply that it's going to cost you money, but do it. And what I am told by everybody who tries this is it just upgrades, Windows 10 authenticates, and, you know, suddenly you're running Windows 10. And I think Microsoft left this on because they really don't want you to be on Windows 7. That once they stop supporting it, it's really dangerous. I will put a link.
Actually,
go ahead.
Actually, I am asking for a friend, not for myself.
Oh, how funny that is. Okay. If you don't have in the menu an upgrade feature, you can go to Microsoft's site, search for Windows Media Creation Tool, and you can get the latest version of Windows 10 in a form that's easy to put on a USB key. In fact, you could do this for your friend. Depends how much you like this person. But you could make with your Windows.
Believe me, I like her a lot.
Ah, a good friend.
She's an ex-girlfriend, but we're still like almost best buddies after 11 years. So.
Isn't that nice when that you can keep that relationship going? That's great.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it is.
Just get a USB key. It needs to be, I think it needs to be 8 gigs, but if you got one that's 16, which probably everybody does, they come in cereal boxes now. Put in a 16 gig, download the Windows Media Creation Tool. Make sure you get it from Microsoft, obviously. I'll put in the show notes, there's an article somebody in the chat room came up with from CNET, Windows 10 free download, how to get the upgrade now. This is from just last month, so apparently it still applies. If you want more details, but really all you have to do is Google Microsoft Media Creation Tool. You'll go to a page, it'll give you the Windows 10. You'll download what we call an ISO. It's basically a file that is meant to be put on a USB key. They'll give you instructions on how to make a bootable USB key. She'll have to tell her machine, don't boot from the internal drive. Just this once, boot from the USB drive.
Will this be on someplace on your website?
James, write this down. Yeah, James DeRuvo will be writing it down. And we'll tell you what else will be on the website will be that link to the CNET article so you can follow it. So
it'll be under, what will it be on your website that I can see it as?
This is episode, so what we do with the website, which is free, by the way, no sign up or anything, is techguylabs.com. It's divided into episodes. This is episode 1778. Okay. And it'll be in hour 2, segment 2. You'll be able to go right to it. It'll even say, Don from Culver City, so you'll know it's you. And and the question will be there, and then the outline of the answer, including those links. But essentially, you're going to download it from Microsoft, put it on a USB key, tell her computer to boot to that USB key, run the Windows 10 installer on top of, it should be on top of her existing Windows 7. That's how the installer knows you own that. It'll say, oh, you own 7. Okay, well, I guess you own 10 now. And she's done.
Yeah, well, I got to send her to that site when you get it up there, because I'm never going to remember all.
Oh, come on, that was easy.
Oh yeah,
I'm in a mean mood today. I'm telling people, come on, you can do it.
Can I ask one other real quick question?
Sure.
I called you a couple weeks ago.
I gotta go. We gotta go to Johnny Jet. Hang on, I'll talk to you off the air. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Here's one from Forbes. We'll put that in there. How to upgrade to Windows 10 for free in 2020. Essentially, they never turned off that engine that would check and say, "Oh, you're legit." So that's good news. It's still free to upgrade. What was the other question, Don?
I called you a couple weeks ago. I had a old Vista laptop. Well, I still have it, but I got a new HP all-in-one.
Nice.
And obviously it's a Windows 10. And is there anything special I have to do? I mean, like when I plug it in, and is there any special? Will it kind of walk me through stuff? Or?
Yeah. And it used to be. You may have a memory of this, vestigial memory of this. PC users had to know about defragmenting and all sorts of extra stuff, memory management stuff, and all of those days. Those days are long gone. Windows just does its thing, and you don't have to do anything at all. You don't even have to put an antivirus on it.
I have a defrag thing right now. I have a defrag.
You don't need to defrag. Those days are gone. Windows keeps everything.
What about the Windows Defender?
Yeah. It'll install automatically on Windows 10. You don't have to install it, and for that reason, you don't need a third-party antivirus. You've got a pretty darn good one built in.
So I don't need to have Windows, Norton 360 anymore.
No, in fact, I'd recommend against it.
Oh, that's what I have right now. So
yeah, it's overkill. You don't need it.
Yeah, because I don't do anything extreme. I don't do gaming. I don't have any personal information on my computer.
Yeah.
Just web search.
Defender is a very good antivirus. People assume, well, it's free with Windows. It mustn't be very good. No, it's actually right up at the top of the antivirus chain. And it does stuff that other antiviruses don't do. And because it comes from Microsoft, it's better integrated into the operating system. I can just go on and on. The real risk with putting any third-party security software on your system is not only that it'll impact system performance, but it may even open a door for bad guys. This has happened. It's happened with Norton. It's happened.
So when I hook up the new computer, it won't automatically.
No, it'll.
Go to the Norton 3.
Well, it might come with HP. Like pretty much everybody else, lards, I should say, their computer up with trialware. So you may have McAfee or Norton on there. Probably you'll have McAfee. Just say no. Uninstall it. I install a lot of stuff when I first start up Windows. That's the one thing you don't need to do. There's one thing, though, I always do is I go through it and decrapify it. Because I don't need, all the games that are on there, all that stuff. So you can just do that from the ad and remove programs. Just uninstall it bit by bit. Uninstall the crap, including all the trialware.
The only games I ever played was Spider Solitaire and Solitaire.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Well, don't uninstall the solid. There is a solitaire.
I'm not a gamer, so
yeah. Don't uninstall. They stopped putting Minecraft and all that stuff on there, but they do still have a solitaire on there. So don't uninstall that. But I really want I want my Windows to be simple and clean, frankly.
Right.
So I install all of that trialware and junkware and all that stuff, and just put this. It is the case that the fewer install the minimum amount of programs you can to get the job done. Only put on there what you need, because every program you put on there has the potential to cause problems.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of stuff. I go on YouTube. I have a
you don't need it. Yeah.
From YouTube on because of that.
HP's gotten a lot better. They used to be the king of crapware, but they've gotten much better. They don't nearly load as much as they used to.
Okay, great advice. Thank you so much.
Hey, my pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Don. Enjoy that new HP.
I'm a total geek when it comes to that stuff. I mean, I know nothing.
You're doing all right.
You're doing all right.
Take care, Don. You've been on the road from Winnemucca. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, and it's time for our traveling dude, Johnny Jet. He's at johnnyjet.com, joins us every week to talk about, I think, the good news. The good news that travel's coming back.
It definitely is. I mean, today, actually, the TSA just released yesterday's numbers. They were the highest since March 15th of 2020.
Might be a little premature, but as more and more of us get vaccines, I think, we're going to get back in 4th of July. We're going to have a hot dog with friends. And
I hope it's before 4th of July, but
let's not rush it. We don't, we're so close to the end. We're not going to
rush it, but
we don't want to mess it up here at this point, right?
For sure,
Yeah.
But I was a little disappointed about that July 4th. But, I follow some of these doctors on TV who are, ultra conservative in terms of medical advice. And a lot of them think that it's going to be before that. And they're just hoping that, they're just all waiting to see if these vaccines really block these variants.
Right. And if people comply and so forth. And you still have to wear masks because even if you've been vaccinated, you can still get it. And you can still spread it. And
places are still cracking down. I just read this week that Hawaii just arrested 3 people because they did not do quarantine. I guess they didn't get tested before they went.
Yeah, it's no time to as and it's tempting because we're getting close, and then we've been doing this for a year now, and it sure be nice to go out in the real world, but we're so close. Let's not screw it up. We're just
I know.
Get to the end.
I keep reminding myself I have not been on a plane for just over a year.
Wow.
The longest in my adult life, by far, the longest before was 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, I used to travel every 3 or 4 days.
I know.
So this is new to me too, but I'm just trying to be a team player and go with it.
I'm a team player. I made my reservations for a cruise in January 2022.
I'm hoping that goes. I really am.
You said, when I told you that last week, you sounded skeptical. Like it might not.
It's just because of Asia, Hong Kong, Singapore, they're really, and Australia and New Zealand for sure. I mean, they don't know when they're going to start letting international visitors.
A year from now, I would expect, but we'll see. All right.
Although Thailand just announced this week that, they're reducing the quarantine time if you've been vaccinated. So
that's where we're going.
7 days.
We're going to Hong Kong, Vietnam, Thailand, and Singapore.
Well, Vietnam.
All 4 of them are tough, right?
For sure. Vietnam's ranked the 2nd in the world, doing the best job. With just behind New Zealand in combating.
I know. My son was there a year ago when COVID broke out.
I remember.
Yeah,
stayed.
And he would have stayed, but he said it's getting really hard for Westerners here. They won't let us come in stores and stuff. They were very mistrustful, and so he felt like he had to go. He had to leave.
Well, I just interviewed my buddy on my YouTube channel, by the way, who's Australian and lives in Vietnam, and just talks about how incredible it is and
it's a beautiful
how cheap
country.
it is. $500 for a 1-bedroom apartment, really nice.
Oh.
But so anyway, I was thinking about moving my dad there. But speaking of reservations,
yes,
everyone's warning, and I posted this a while ago that if you're going to travel this year, get your reservations. And it's a great time to buy plane tickets, which we talked about last week. But now it's for car rentals because they're all talking about there might not be enough cars since, the car rentals were hit hard. They sold a lot of their fleet, and now the car manufacturers are not getting all the parts they need. And so they can't bring these cars out fast enough, and they usually sell their cars to rental car dealers. But they're talking about right now that if you better make reservations, because not only is it going to be tougher to get a car, you're just not going to be able to walk up like you used to. You might not be able to, it's going to be a lot more expensive. So
really,
I just priced it out just now for a week that I'm hoping to be in New York City in late May, which I doubt it will happen, but I'm hoping. And, it was almost just a little bit more expensive than last year. However, the company was Hertz, which was the cheapest. And notoriously, Hertz has been the highest price. But I think because business travelers are not traveling right now and their main customer is business travelers, That's why they're lowest. So if you are going to book a car, there's a couple of websites that I
Shop
use.
around, it sounds like, right?
Totally. But autoslash.com, which I just used right now, you put in your information. They ask you if you have a Costco card, if you have Sam's Club, if you have certain credit cards or frequent flyer accounts, elite status, because it will help. And then they'll email you 15 minutes later, what they have. But also Costco.com. You really can't beat them. And in terms of price, I mean, that's where I usually rent my cars.
But they're not at the airport. How do you get the car?
Costco. No. You don't go to Costco. You just book it through Costco Travel.
Oh, they're a travel agency, and then you book, and they'll book. Totally. They'll find the best price for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can book airport car rentals, whatever. And I've done it many times. Just one time on Costco, though, I think it was with Avis, and I booked their. I saved a little money by pre-booking it and making sure it was guaranteed. And I ended up dropping my license on the plane. I lost my license. First time that ever happened. So I could not rent a car.
Oh, no.
So I got there. So I lost that reservation because it wasn't a flexible one, which you really want to do even if you're 100% sure you're going to be there like I was, I still lost my ID.
Oh.
So, and actually another topic, speaking of ID, one of your listeners, Jay, asked me a couple weeks ago, and I've never responded. Is it true that I need a real ID?
That's the new thing, the federal ID that you can get from your state in lieu of a driver's license or as a driver's license. And when do we need to have that to get on a plane? Pretty soon,
it's
right?
October 2021, but a lot of states are already compliant. California is not. New York is not.
To get it in California, you have to go a little farther than just getting a driver's license. You have to bring in additional ID.
Exactly. I tried to. I went in and I brought the wrong tax paper. I brought my wife's, so I could not get it.
They're very tough.
They are tough.
They're tough. But
so
that's
do
the
your
requirement.
homework and check all your documents. And make an appointment, by the way. I made an appointment and I did not have to wait long. Going to the DMV used to be torture, but it really wasn't bad.
Or if you have a passport, that's a real ID. That counts.
That's my thing. If you have a passport, you do not need to get a real ID or a passport card.
Well, so what I did is I got the passport card. It was an additional cost. But then I asked at a TSA checkpoint, and I said, does this count as a real ID? He said, yes.
Yeah, of course.
So that means that's as easy to carry as a driver's license. So I do carry that in my wallet as a second ID.
Yeah, I think it's $30. I just actually applied for a new one a few days ago. And my passport. And that's another thing, by the way. If you are going to travel this year, go into your drawer right now, wherever you keep your passport, you're safe, and look and see what the expiration date is.
It's a little dusty.
A lot of countries, you need at least 6 months.
That's right. You can't go in unless you have 6 months before your expiration date. Yeah, that seems.
And mine expires
universal.
in August.
Oh, it's time to get a new one.
Yeah, so I just sent it in, and actually, I'm trying this expedited service. I'll tell you about it when I get it and see how they did.
Yeah, I got when it turned out a mistake, but when you order a new passport, you can order it with a standard size or get the extra pages sewn in.
Always get the extra pages.
I have it, so it's like 50 pages.
52.
But there's no stamps at all. So
I know it's sad. I mean, my passport I just sent away. It was hard to part with it because it's thick and it has stamps, visas everywhere. And my new one's going to be
empty. It's so fun. But they punch a hole through it and they give it back to you. And it's nice. I have all my old passports because it really is fun to look at the stamps and places I've been in the old days when one could travel.
And one tip, by the way, is don't ever put a stamp that's not from a country. That I know people like to collect stamps or either.
Yeah, when we were at Machu Picchu, you get a stamp in your passport.
Don't do it.
Why?
Because if there's a tough government
not
official,
valid. Yeah,
they say it's not valid, and they'll just say sorry.
You invalidated your passport with a phony tourist stamp?
We went to 2 Foot Island, I think it is, in the Cook Islands.
Yeah.
And then, here, you want your passport stamped? And everyone's getting it stamped. I'm like, don't do it. Are you crazy?
I've done that everywhere. I got the southernmost post office in the world in Ushuaia. I got a stamp. At Machu Picchu, I got a stamp. Oh, no. I need a new passport. Johnny Jet. Follow him at johnnyjet.com. His newsletters are free. johnnyjet.com/newsletter. He's got a great podcast there, too. And, of course, he's on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. Leo Laporte. The Tech Guy. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. 8888 Ask Leo the phone number. Let's go back to the phones. And Scott on the line from Orange County, California. Hello, Scott.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm sitting in the sun, enjoying the afternoon.
Oh, how nice. Spring is here, isn't it? In fact, don't forget, we got to set the clocks forward tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know do people have to do that anymore since all your electronic stuff does that automatically. Just for some reason, the microwave oven and the oven clock and things like that. The old-fashioned stuff. What can I do for you?
All right, before I go to my main question, I wanted to share an app I just downloaded today for my iPhone 12.
Okay.
It's called Focus Live.
FOCOS, right?
Yeah, Focus Live.
Yeah.
It's $15, and what it does, I've been shooting video professionally with my iPhones for years.
Oh.
It gives you the bokeh effect like you can get with a still picture. So you could take an interview, right, and then using the app, blur out the background.
Nice.
It's really cool for $15.
Focus, FOCOS, Live. Wow, I'll have to check that out. There's another program called Focus from the folks who do Halide, I think. So that's a little confusing. So I will try Focus Live. Okay, very cool.
And then you were talking about Spike Lee and all this HDR stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's a company called Frame.io that's been around for years, and they are revolutionizing how Hollywood is going to be making movies with it. They're calling it camera to cloud.
Wow. So you record directly to the cloud, even if you're using a high-end, digital camera?
Yeah.
Wow.
Michael Cioni is one of the big players for the company. If you go on their website, he has a video where he literally walks you through in real time how this all works, and it's completely mind-blowing. Like, normally on set, you can do a lot of work, color correcting, and all this kind of stuff. You could have,
right,
all these people doing it in real time.
Right.
Now, it would be the camera crew, and your editors could be at home.
Oh, that's awesome.
Could be watching it on their iPad.
Right.
Okay, in real time. And literally, like, let's say you're filming at 10 a.m., that the editors could be rough cutting any scene, so the director literally in a couple of hours would get a rough cut of what they're doing. So they got
the world is changing.
Going on.
Tomorrow's the 15th anniversary of Amazon Web Services, of S3, the beginning really of the cloud revolution. And it's in 15 years we have come a long way. I would never thought you could do this in video because it's such fat files. Do you do this? Are you a filmmaker for a living or just for fun?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Nice.
40 years.
40 years. And you shoot with the iPhone?
Yeah. So, I forgot to mention something. You need, for this Focus Live to work, you need an iPhone that has the LiDAR lens.
Oh, it's using the LiDAR to get the depth. Yeah, the depth information. Yeah.
That's the only, I'm glad I remembered that. You have to have a LiDAR lens. But
very cool.
You talked about HDR, the picture quality of this iPhone 12. People will strap it onto a $10,000 Canon C100.
Yeah.
You can't tell the difference.
It's Dolby Vision. It's HDR. It's incredible. Wow. Where can I see your work? You shoot commercials or film, or what do you do?
My whole career was filming in schools in Southern California, documenting what public education was doing.
Cool.
They pay me to document how students were using technology.
That's neat.
But none of it got on the internet because it's all you can't show kids.
Yeah. It's not public. It's in-house. Yeah.
But that was fun.
Well, a lot of fun. Well, what can I now ask your question? Okay. You've been very helpful to me. What can I do for you, Scott?
So my wife is going to take her $1,400, COVID relief check that's going to be coming, and she does a lot of work at her work on the it's a small business, their website, and sending out different emails with different programs, and she wants a small laptop. So it's they're going to be coming out with new Macs. We've been Macs forever, so I want to get your recommendation on. I don't see any difference between MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, and I'd recommend she get the new iPad Pro that's going to come out. But she says a lot of her programs don't play well with iOS.
That's the biggest.
That's
the biggest difference, because you're right. The processors now in the iPads are desktop class processors, very similar to the ones Apple's shipping in its M1 Macintoshes. So yeah, you're right. In terms of pure raw performance, an iPad is absolutely in the same class. Doesn't have as much RAM, but the biggest difference is what she pinpointed, which is the different operating system means you're a little limited in the kinds of software you can use. You know, you can't really do, you probably can't do Frame IO on an iPad, as an example. On the other hand, you can't do Focus Live on a Mac. So I guess, you know, you have to choose the right platform for the right use. Apple, the 3 Apple M1 Macintoshes they released, the Air, the Pro, MacBook Air, and Mini, all have exactly the same processor running at exactly the same speed. The only difference is that the MacBook Pro has a fan in it and the Air does not. So, and Air doesn't have as much battery life because there's not as much room in the case. So they're a little bit better battery life on the MacBook Pro.
Okay.
The fan helps if you're doing something like you might do video editing, because if it's a sustained, you know, long period of time that you're using the processor at its highest speed, the fan will help for sustained output. But for the kind of stuff your wife is doing, an Air would be an excellent choice. I think she'd be very happy with that. But I should mention that there will be an Apple event either next Tuesday or the Tuesday after. There's almost certainly an Apple event in March. That's probably where they'll announce the new iPad Pro you just mentioned. That might be worth looking at. They're going to have a new screen technology, better processor, and that kind of thing. And then I am sure there'll be new Macintosh computers coming out roughly June at the Worldwide Developer Conference. So in the next few months, we're going to see a number of new Macs. Who knows? Might be a lot of them. So it isn't quite the case that you should wait, but if you can wait, it might not hurt, because there might be something new that's worth looking at. Otherwise, that MacBook Air I bought the MacBook Pro 13 just because I wanted the fan, and mostly because I wanted the longest battery life I could get. And man, the battery life on that is mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling. I don't charge it. Sometimes I go 3 days without charging. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, it's about 20 hours battery life. It's really incredible, depending on what you do, of course. But for average use, it goes a long, long way. So you're going to like those. Those new Apple Silicon chips are really impressive. It's, you know, and as you said, it's the same thing in the iPad, basically.
So basically, she's got to be really particular about what her needs are going to be. Like you said,
as always,
that might be the selling point for her.
As always, you think about it, because, you know, that's what determines the hardware you get. Absolutely. But I think a MacBook Air, if you just asked me off the top from what you described, MacBook Air would be a great choice right now. She'd be super happy. Scott, it's nice to talk to you. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, I should have asked him what should have asked him what Spike Lee's doing in that new movie, because it is high. You know, I'm watching it on Netflix, so I'm not watching it in high frame rate, but it's definitely HDR, and it's one of those things where you're watching the movie and you feel like you're there. You're right, and I don't like that. My wife didn't like that. It's too real. I want to watch a movie. Remind everybody that our show today is brought to you by Linode. We were just talking about, remember the guy from the church who wanted an audio server? Wanted to run an IceCast server? Linode is the most affordable, easiest way to run a server, host your website, build your app, backup media, store content. It's awesome. I first became aware of Linode many years ago. I think I became a customer maybe more than a decade ago. They've always been on the cutting edge. Now they offer high-end GPUs for machine learning. They still offer SSDs. They still offer a variety of flavors of Linux. It's the best cloud infrastructure out there. Linode believes in cloud computing for all. Over 800,000 developers agree. That's how many people use Linode. It has an intuitive cloud manager, a fully featured API, and data centers all over the world, which means you can pick the data center that's nearest you, the fastest data center, but the pricing's exactly the same regardless of location. Always affordable. no matter where you are. And by the way, no matter who you are, even if you have the lowest tier plan, you're paying the least amount of money, the best support. They don't say, oh, you only have a $5 a month plan. No, their support is the best. They're geeks like us, 24/7, 365 days a year, no tiers, no handoffs. They will fix the problem right there. It's awesome. Launch and scale in the cloud with Linode's virtual machines. You'll be getting a great price, great service, great support. You could choose shared or dedicated compute instances. You can use, I'm going to give you $100 credit. You can use that towards an S3 compatible object storage or managed Kubernetes or more. Linode has a great YouTube channel too. I want to recommend at youtube.com/Linode, Linode, youtube.com/Linode. Free tutorials, lots of information, security tips. It's a great way to learn about what Linode can do for you. I'm a fan. I've been using Linode for years. So has Bryce Adams from Meteoric. He says, from the start, we were looking for a partner, not a provider. Some of the large providers, you know who we're talking about, see us only as a transaction. But Linode is the kind of partner that will be with us from the start, today, and beyond. That's my experience, too. Real people. They don't hide behind their technology. They're there to help you, and they have the best technology. Multiple Stevie Award winner, by the way. That's for sales and customer service. They actually just got it for the third consecutive year in a row, Stevie Award for excellence in sales and customer service. Simplify your infrastructure. Cut your cloud bills in half with Linode's Linux virtual machines. Whether you're developing a personal project, like I am, that's what I use it for. That's how I learn about these web-based technologies. Or maybe you've got a business, a startup. You're managing larger workloads. You want to build your MVP. Scales all the way up to the biggest hit in the world. You deserve simple, affordable, accessible cloud computing solutions. Get started on Linode today. I did mention $100, didn't I? $100 in free credit for our listeners. You can find all the details at Linode, linode.com/techguy. And if you're not at your desktop, just text TWiT to 474747, and they'll send you a link with your free credit. That's linode.com/techguy. Just click the Create Free Account button to get started. If it runs on Linux, it runs on Linode. Linode's the best. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, the future of the internet, whatever's on your mind. 8888 Ask Leo is my phone number. I'd love to talk to you right now. 8888 Ask Leo. SpaceX just rolled out its Falcon 9, its big old rocket, to the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center. We're going to lift off at 6:01 Eastern tomorrow morning. 60 more Starlink satellites. Starlink is, I hear more and more people saying, yeah, I signed up for Starlink. Starlink is that idea, crazy though it sounded a couple of years ago. It's now sounding a little less crazy. Elon Musk, yeah, you know him from Tesla, and his SpaceX is his space company, his commercial space company. Got permission from the Federal Communications Commission to launch up to 12,000 satellites. 12,000 satellites to provide internet access, high-speed internet access to every corner of the planet. Wow. And they're launching like crazy. I don't know how many they've got up now. I don't, it's got to be close to 1,000 at this point. And they are offering it. It's not cheap right now. They're offering, the Starlink is the name of the internet service. They're offering Starlink service for, you buy the gear. You have to have a special satellite dish to receive it. It's about $400. And then $100 a month for the internet. So it's not cheap, but I'm guessing that the plan is, I would guess, to make it inexpensive in some regions, but make some money off the U.S. In fact, Elon thinks that the money he makes from this Starlink internet project will fund his plans to colonize Mars. So I guess he thinks it's going to be fairly profitable. The first, they call it tranche of Starlinks, will be 1,581 satellites orbiting about 341 miles above the Earth. It's a pretty low orbit, 53 degrees, tilted 53 degrees to the equator. So I think they must be close to that first tranche. SpaceX says they're taking pre-orders now, $99 to reserve your place in line. For people in the southern United States and other lower latitude regions, because that's where the satellites are right now, that should be available by the end of this year. $500 for the antenna and the modem, $50 shipping and handling, and then $100 a month. It's pretty expensive, but I know a lot of people. I was talking to a friend of mine, lives in a cabin in the woods, loves it. But of course, you know, you get all the beauty of the cabin in the woods, but you also don't get great internet service. So he's really hopeful, as many of us are, that this is going to bring internet service everywhere. All right, moving on to the phones. Dale on the line from Santa Monica, California. Hi, Dale. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Dale, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good. I thought I might have put you to sleep with my SpaceX talk. What's going on?
Anyway, I've got a question. I've heard you talk about Google Photos changing in the future.
Yes, soon now. Yeah, June.
And I use what I do is the feature that I'm concerned about is I take pictures with my pocket phone, and then I get home and it's on my iPad.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
And I want you to lead us into something else that will do that.
Well, fortunately, there are lots of choices. So the change Google's making in June is that used to be unlimited low quality, and they really weren't low quality. They really were high quality JPEGs, but they were slightly compressed from the originals. Unlimited storage for those forever. And in fact, everything you upload until June will continue to be stored there forever for free. So it's not like, at least according to Google, it's not like at some point they're going to start charging you. It's only after June, I guess it's June 15th, that Google's going to start charging you for storage. Everything already up there is there and will continue to be free. So I think they handle that as well as you can expect it. People are unhappy when anything that was free now is not, but I think they're handling it fairly well. So if you don't want to pay for Google Drive storage, which is fairly economical, so you may make the decision to do that. The key is you want something for free. You already know, because if you're using an iPhone, you can use, and an iPad, you can use iCloud to do exactly the same thing and the same results, but it's not free. You have to pay for iCloud storage. And Apple's storage is not the cheapest. Google's actually less expensive, I think. There are other ways to do this. If you're an Amazon Prime customer, are you an Amazon Prime customer?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, good news. They offer unlimited storage of originals for free. So that's one of the benefits of Amazon Prime. You need the Amazon Photos app to do that. And you can put that on your camera phone, and you can put that on your iPad. Free unlimited storage as long as you're a Prime member. And you know, Amazon Prime's gotten more and more expensive. I just got my bill. It was I think it's $120 now. But they're giving you more and more features. So, and the nice thing is, unlike the Google deal, this is full resolution. They're not compressed. So you get the originals. You also get 5 gigs of video storage, so you can store your videos up there too. And Amazon is pretty much the low price leader for storage. It's $2 a month for every additional 100 gigabytes. But again, that's just for video, because photos are free. There are some other companies that do this. A company that has been around for a long time, you might remember as a photo printing company, Shutterfly.
Sure.
Also offers free storage of originals, unlimited. The reason is they make their money on prints. And so they figure, well, if all your images are there, you might well send Aunt Judy the link, and she might well want to make a mouse pad or a calendar or a mug or just a photo print. And so we're going to make some money. So
Yeah, okay.
Shutterfly is another one. You can put the app on your phone. It'll automatically copy it up, and then you'll be able to see it on your iPad at the Shutterfly website. They say free, unlimited, secure photo storage. We will never delete your photos. That doesn't mean we'll never charge you for it. Although, as I remember, I think Shutterfly is about to do an IPO. There's some financial thing that just happened with Shutterfly. Yeah, they're going to do an IPO. They're going to issue common stock, which means they'll probably be cash rich for a little while. Well, they're already public. What is going on with Shutterfly? Did they just get acquired? Something in the back of my mind's tickling my mind. Anyway, there's a couple of extras. Amazon Prime members, Shutterfly, those are free unlimited storage.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah. Thanks.
What you're losing is some of the features, the smart features that Google gives you. I love it that I can upload photos to Google and it will automatically do recognition. Now, some people might get very nervous about that, but it'll automatically, I can then search for pictures of dogs. I can then search for pictures of Paris. I can even search for pictures of dogs in Paris. And it does a very good job of finding them. There are a few cats in my dog pictures, I admit it, but it's a pretty good way. So the idea for me with Google is you just upload everything you take a picture of. Might as well, because you don't have to categorize them or organize them. You just do a Google search. Shutterfly, the chat room is telling me, is in talks to go public through a merger with a blank check company. Okay. Is that a SPAC? Okay. So Shutterfly went public in 2006, went private again a couple of years ago. And now is thinking about going public again. I would use them all. Why not? That's what I do. I upload it to everything. I even have my own local cloud storage. That's another way to do it. That's a little more expensive up front because you have to buy local storage if you have a network-attached storage device or something like that. We have a sponsor called Helm at thehelm.com that does a local storage using Nextcloud, which is an open source thing. Synology, NASA's will do it. I mean, another way to store your photos is pay for the storage yourself. Then, if you didn't trust the cloud, I guess that's what you would do. I do it all because the last thing I want is to lose any of my photos. So I'm a belt and suspenders guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't want to take a chance at all. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. We got a call a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you remember it, about a guy whose internet radio, he was concerned his internet radio was going to stop working. As you may know, most internet radios are built to use a website called Receiva at receiva.com that was a directory of internet radio stations. We needed it because internet radio stations seem to be moving around a lot. They wouldn't stay in the same place at the same time. If you got one of these boxes, they look like a tabletop or a countertop radio. But instead of being a radio, it actually was an internet receiver, and you could tune it to a dial. Now, if you have presets on there, those will still work until the station moves, if it does at some point. But the directory is gone, or is about to be gone. So I mentioned this. We talked. I got a call from Bob Crane of C. Crane. They make a lot of internet radios. And I just got an email from Greg Fadol. I hope I'm saying your name right, Greg. He is the CEO of Grace Radios, the other, probably the biggest name in internet radio. He said, I have a few things I'd like to add. First of all, I guessed. I don't know if I guessed that Grace was a Chinese company, but that these radios were all coming from China, probably. He says, we're not. We founded the business in San Diego in 2007. Grace was a premier partner with Receiva when they were around. A company called CSR bought Receiva a few years back. Then Qualcomm bought them. Qualcomm owns them now. Qualcomm decided to shut down the Receiva servers, which not only control the station database, but many core functions of the radio. C. Crane is doing a deal with SkyTune. We mentioned that, which will only work with their new radios. Unfortunately, neither C. Crane nor Grace Digital can use the Qualcomm code, so you can't upgrade any previous Grace, C. Crane, or any receiver-based radios. They're just not upgradable. He says, both Bob Crane and I wish we could better serve our customers, but it's just not an option. There is no upgrade route offered by Qualcomm. He says, we were worried that this would happen at some point. We just didn't know when. So 5 years ago, Grace Digital started investing in developing a new platform, created a new station database. They launched that in 2018. So if you bought a Grace radio anytime since 2018, good news, you don't have to worry about the receiver shutdown. It doesn't use it. And they continue to develop and maintain their own database of radio stations. And they've added, by the way, to that, Greg tells me, they've added to that Amazon Music, Pandora, Sirius, iHeartRadio, our parent company, Live 365, NPR, Radio.com, Shoutcast, BBC, Calm Radio, podcasts from iTunes and Chromecast. So basically, now you get everything. So the new Grace Elite and Grace Link radios, and anything you bought since 2018 is impervious to this. You don't have to worry about it. If you did buy a radio earlier than that, any of the Grace radios, they're offering a discount. This is what Bob's doing at C. Crane as well, a discount to existing users to upgrade to a newer radio. And I think this is a good solution. C. Crane is going to use a new service that will replace Receiva. And I kind of like what Grace is doing. GraceDigital.com. Their radios all their new radios are going to start supporting or be supported by their own database, which I think that's a good thing. My mom has a Mondo from Grace Digital, but anything you bought between 2007 and 2017 is going to stop working. All of that information is at GraceDigital.com, so you can find out about that. Thank you, Greg, for writing. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry if I gave the impression you were a Chinese company. No, they're right here in San Diego. That's lovely. That's great. Jackie's on the line from Rome, New York. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Leo. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
So my husband has an old Toshiba laptop that works for him. Obviously, it came with Windows 7. We've updated it to Windows 10.
Good.
And now we've got this update coming in for Windows 10 version. It's a January 2021 update.
Yes.
Windows 10 20H2 for 64-base system.
Yep.
It won't go through no matter what I try to do. It's got an error that comes up. And I've Googled it and tried to figure out how to work around. I've done a couple things, and I still can't figure out how to get this through.
What does the error say?
Well, it's a 0.
Oh, yeah, that's useless. If it's just a number like that, there's nothing I can do with that. I don't even know why they bother giving you those errors. I guess so that you could call Microsoft and they'd go, I don't know. Okay. You're getting this update a little early. It's starting to come out. You're not a Windows insider, are you? You're not running the beta versions of Windows. You're a normal Windows user, or your husband is?
Yes. Yep.
My guess is, how old is that Toshiba?
It's old. I've asked him to get a new one.
Yeah, I could tell from the way you described it. I could tell you were thinking, well, he likes it, I guess. It may well be that you cannot upgrade that for some reason. There's something about the hardware that's incompatible. Microsoft tries not to offer you these upgrades if it knows it's incompatible. So it's unusual that you get an error like this. There's a couple of things you can do. One is live with it for a little bit. It may be that in time you'll get an update that works. This is very, very early in the update cycle. I'm actually surprised you're getting 21H1. Almost everybody's on 2020H2, which is the end of last year. And I think that's the current version for almost everybody. So that's why I'm wondering if you're in an early beta program or something. Maybe your husband turned on the preview releases, because that I don't think is out yet. So, and it may be that because he has an older system, a 32-bit system perhaps, he cannot install the upgrade. I would wait. It's no harm at this point. It's just a feature upgrade. You're not missing anything as long as you continue to get the security updates all as well. I wouldn't worry at this point. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had to wrap up there. But I think the security updates are what matters. These are feature updates.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
If he wanted to look for a new one, what do you recommend for some?
Oh, it's time.
I know.
Toshiba got out of the laptop business a long time ago. What does he like? What does he like about that Toshiba? The screen, the size, the battery life, the keyboard. Is there?
I think it's just the size and he's just used to using it. He actually learned on this laptop.
Yeah, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Where he had to use computers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I understand. Now, the good news is you could continue to use it.
Okay.
The bad news is there may come a time when you just need when Microsoft says you have to update and you can't because it's so old. You're not at that point yet. If he's already at 20H2, I think he's fine. You don't need 21H1. In fact, I don't even know why it's offering it to you. I think he must have accidentally turned on the Windows Insider program.
Okay. And as long as you do the security updates, you're okay.
If at some point you stop getting the security updates, that's cause for concern. Okay. Meanwhile,
I get it.
Is it a 16-inch screen or a 17-inch? How big is it?
It's a smaller one. I think 15. Yeah.
Okay. So there's some really excellent choices. I'm a big fan of the Dell XPS. There's a 13 and a 15. That's a beautiful laptop, really nicely made. Actually, I'll give you the three manufacturers I would look at: Dell, Lenovo, or HP.
Okay.
Actually, there are many more good ones, but those are the top three, and I think they're very good. Lenovo ThinkPads are fantastic. They're very much like that Toshiba. They're built like a rock. The Dells...
Actually, I have a Lenovo because I bought him a new one thinking that he would change over.
And he didn't want it?
I just ended up taking it. Yep.
Good. So maybe you'll never get him to change.
I know. You are all right.
Something about old dogs and new tricks.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so you made a good choice. Those Lenovos. I really like the ThinkPads in particular from Lenovo. I would look at the Dell XPS. I'm giving you the higher end lines because sometimes the less expensive ones are a little cheesy. They don't. He's obviously gotten a lot of mileage out of this Toshiba.
Yeah.
You want something that's going to go 5 to 7 years, then you're going to get the higher end system, which is a ThinkPad, a Dell XPS, or one of the HP top of the line HPs, the Envies or the Spectres.
Okay.
Those are all excellent.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that so much.
Good. Well, I'm glad you called.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.
Have a good day.
Get that old dog off that old laptop.
I'll try.
It's like a bone. He doesn't want to give it up, does he?
Nope. Yeah, that's what happens, right?
I think it's so cute. You bought him a ThinkPad, and he said, "No."
Yeah. Well, it sat here until I had to work from home, and then I'm like,
"Oh, aren't you glad you had it?" Yeah. You're really glad you got it. All right,
it worked out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo the phone number. Lucy on the line from Temple City. Hello, Lucy.
Hello, Leo. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course. Thank you for calling. What can I do for you?
Yes, we had a Samsung Smart TV for about 3 years now, this last January. And this past couple of weeks, we've been having some sound problems. We cannot adjust the sound either on a remote or on the back of the TV where it gives you the TV dial.
Right.
And we've been on the phone with tech support from Samsung. I've been on the phone for quite a long time. My husband and I, they give us all these little things we have to do. We do it, unplug this, do that, load the software, everything, and it still has not been working. We got it to the point where we can leave it at a level that we can hear, but we can only watch our regular TV, the cable TV. We cannot put on Netflix or any of our Amazon because the voice just goes really down.
So let me ask a couple of questions. When you watch Netflix, are you watching it through the software built into the Samsung or from some external device like an Apple TV or a Roku?
Within the
You're using the smart TV feature on the Samsung.
the smart TV. Well, actually, both.
Okay.
I can watch Amazon through the smart TV app, and I can watch Netflix through the our Spectrum.
Okay.
And either way,
and it's always too low. It's always too low, and you can't turn it up at all.
Not at all. And they've helped me. Two of them helped me. Finally, I got the third tech that told me that Samsung is working on the software and that they will let me know when that.
Okay. How old is the TV?
3 years.
That's not that old. 5 older Samsung TVs than that. And you're listening to the speakers built into the TV, not external speakers.
Right, the TV speakers.
So one potential solution for this, most of these TVs, they put a speaker in because if they didn't, people would go, I can't hear. But really, they expect you to add your own speakers to most TVs these days. Yeah. So one solution to this might be to just forget what Samsung's doing and get an external speaker system. There are lots of different ways to do this. You could go down to your big box store and look at sound bars. A sound bar is probably what you want. Most sound bars will have a direct input from the TV called an optical input. It's light. And your TV should have an optical out for the audio, and the sound bar would have an optical in. And that completely bypasses the television's own audio processing. So if there is something wrong with the TV, and it sounds like that's what it is, that there's something wrong with the amplifier circuitry in the TV, you don't need that. It's going to take the digital audio from the video stream that you're watching, whatever that is, and send that to the sound bar, which is going to have its own amplification circuitry. So if you wanted to save this TV, I don't know if there's a way to fix it. It sounds like it's actually broken. But the good news is you don't have to rely on the sound processing of the Samsung TV. You could use an external device to do that.
Oh, well, I guess that's the way to go.
It'll sound, by the way, it'll sound 100 times better. Because as I said, the speakers they put on these TVs are really tinny and chintzy. Look at it. Look, you can go online if you want to go to your Costco or your Sam's Club or somewhere like that. They'll have them Vizio sound bars, Vizio.
Vizio. Okay.
Yeah, you can go to Vizio.com and buy them there, or frankly, you can get them on Amazon too. But a sound bar, the idea of a sound bar is it's just one bar that's just below your TV. As I said, connects optically to your TV. It has, you plug it into the wall, it has its own amplification circuitry. You turn it up, you don't turn the TV up, you turn it up, and they start at under $100.
Oh, okay.
So they really sound quite good. You're going to get much better sound quality out of it, and it will solve this problem. I'm almost certain.
Well, that really does. It's really a good solution, but
yeah,
having it only for 3 years really.
Well, I think something's broken, and it's like any electronics device. Most of the time, they're extremely reliable. But if something goes wrong, it's extremely difficult to fix it because it's all on a single circuit board, and it would probably, it's out of warranty now, unfortunately, and it would probably cost more than the TV is worth to fix it because you'd, in effect, be replacing the entire guts of the TV. So unless there's some weird... Go ahead.
You think Samsung if we did decide to go, is a good product to get? Or
yeah.
Is there something?
I mean, there are other companies I think that maybe would be... Samsung's fine. They're very good. I bought my favorite TV that I have is an LG OLED. They're a little pricey. They're going to be closer to $2,000, but they're really nice LG OLED technology. Samsung's very good. Sony is still a very good TV set. There are a couple of new companies from China that are being very aggressive at pricing because they want to get in the market. Remember, Samsung was very aggressive when they were, LG and Samsung are Korean companies. When it was a Japanese-dominated industry with Panasonic and Sony, along comes Samsung and LG, undercuts them to win market share. Well, the same thing's now happening from Chinese companies. Two of them, TCL and Hisense, best bang for your buck right now is a TCL TV.
Oh, wow.
But nowadays, remember when when you and I were younger, you bought a TV, it would last decades. You wouldn't buy a new TV for a long time. Now these are more like computers. They expect you to buy a new one every few years.
Yeah, certainly not every 3 years, I'll tell you.
Well, maybe. I mean, it shouldn't have broken. No, you're exactly right. Yeah, it shouldn't have broken.
Okay.
I suspect there's something circuitry that's gone wrong, and these things do happen. Thank you for the call.
But the thing is that I couldn't even find anything on the internet that said that there was a problem. I would have believed it if that were true.
Well, I don't think maybe it's not a widespread problem, but things break. Even solid state circuitry, which is what's in your TV, can go bad. Might have had a power surge that fried it. Or it just failed. Sometimes that happens too. You're right. It shouldn't happen in 3 years, but stuff breaks. I mean, that's the way of the world. There's nothing perfect in the world. Things do break, and I think you had bad luck, is what I guess happened, Lucy.
Right.
It broke.
Okay.
It broke. The good news is the part that broke. If the screen had broken, you'd have to get a new TV. But the part that broke, the sound part, is easily replaced. Vizio has a 4.1 surround sound subwoofer, sound bar, the surround sounds on the left and right, $128. You're going to get 100 times better sound, and you can control the level. You can turn it up really loud. You don't. And if you just want the sound bar by itself, it's less than $100. You're going to have to get that special little optical cable. Make sure that when you order it, you order what's called a Toslink cable, It's a special little fiber optic cable that goes from the TV into the sound bar, and that's how it gets the sound. The reason I like that is because it won't use any of the circuitry in the TV. The TV just passes the bits that it's getting from the source material, whatever that is, just passes those bits along, and then it's up to the sound bar to say, "Oh, this is sound. I'm going to decode it. You can set the level, all of that stuff. You don't have to use any of that. It sounds like the amplifier is shot." Is what it sounds like. If it's something else, then maybe that won't work either. So if you buy a sound bar, make sure they have a good return policy. That's why I like the big box stores. If you buy it and it doesn't work, you just take it home, take it back, and say, it didn't work. Didn't solve the problem. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Our GizWiz coming up with a gizmo right after this. Everybody! Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's time, disco time. Have you seen the Bee Gees documentary yet?
No.
I think what is it on? Is it on HBO Max? HBO Max. If you haven't seen it yet, Dick, you've got to see it. It's so great.
Okay. Oh, great.
Who knew? These guys basically had 3 different careers. They started off, they were out of Australia with kind of more folky songs like the mining disaster thing. Remember that? And then they got discovered in disco. And, of course, Saturday Night Fever just blew their career up. And then they had a third career doing music for movies and TV shows. A really amazing story and fun to watch. It's a great documentary, HBO Max. But that's not why we're gathered together today. Today we are gathered together to celebrate the gizmo, the gadget, the weird little thing that you pick up and you look at that and go, who would want that? And then you send it to Dick DeBartolo. That's kind of how it works.
The world famous name Takui.
Takui. Are they related to Patui?
Yes, they are. They actually have the building next door.
It does sound like a Mad Magazine parody, doesn't it? Takui.
It does. So I have, and then I have a special use for this for people like you who are in the business. Okay.
Oh, I'm in the Takui business. Okay.
Yes. Okay. They make the rechargeable LED necklight. Okay.
I have this.
You have this very one?
Well, I don't know if I have the Takui brand, but it looks just like that.
Okay. You have 3 different temperatures. You can do warm. Oh my gosh.
So I was looking, okay, wow. I was looking for a way to read in bed at night. And I've tried them all. You remember I bought 8 gooseneck lamps on your suggestion, the clamp to the thing.
Right.
I've tried the book
They
light.
were not for around the neck, those.
No. And I tried the book light. You put it on the book, blah, blah. I've tried them all. But what's changed, of course, with LED now, you can really get very nice bright light with a battery and long lasting. And I saw these. I must be the Takui. I saw these. You put it around your neck, and it's like there's a lights. I don't know how to describe it. It's pointing off of your neck. It's the best way to read.
It's on like a little accordion thing, so you can bend it in any direction you want.
You can use one or both lights. They're independent.
And then you can dial the temperature. There's warm yellow, white, and then cool white.
At night, I always use the warm yellow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then 3 different brightnesses once you get the color you like.
Yeah.
And the reason I thought someone like you and I can use it is when we get even older.
Even older? We're going to get older. That's the good news.
A great uplight. Just put it on the desk and have it shine up at us. Something that I learned from To Tell the Truth when Kitty Carlisle said, I look old. I need lighting from the bottom.
It flattens out the wrinkles.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. Lisa took a picture of me wearing this silly necklight. I don't think she sent it to me, unfortunately. I was trying to find it because I can prove I have this. This doesn't clip on your book.
No.
Which is nice. You can move the book around. It doesn't make the book heavier. Oh, you're wearing it right now. Look at that.
I'm wearing, yeah. And
no wonder you look so unwrinkled.
It's very inexpensive. Actually, I'm looking on Amazon. I paid $18, but right now there's a $4 coupon on it, so $14. And rechargeable, and I believe they said it runs up to 40 hours depending on, the brightness and if you're using 1 or 2 sides. But
it's so funny because I bought this, I thought this is either going to be the greatest thing ever or the worst.
It works well, right?
It's great.
Yeah.
And I use it all the time because,
I'm thinking,
there's sometimes I want to read an actual book, instead of a Kindle or listen to an audiobook. And these are perfect for that. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm also thinking if you're replacing fuses or anything, this is great. Just point it up at the fuse box and it can be also a little work.
They're really bright. They don't not only have 3 different shades, but they have 3 different or 4 different settings for brightness. So you can crank them up. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Takui. When the name goes on, the quality goes in. Takui.
Right. And then we put the name, and then we take the quality out.
Then we take it out. We sell it to somebody else. Takui.
Takui.
It's with a name like Takui, it's got to be good.
It's got to be great with a name like that. I just have to tell you one quick thing. I just spoke to Al Jaffe. Al Jaffe is 100 today.
Happy birthday, Al Jaffe. Al Jaffe, of course, one of the great Mad Magazine illustrators. How do you describe his style?
Well, first of all, he created 2 really long-time Mad features. The Mad Fold In. Right. And the snappy answers to stupid questions, which is one of my favorite things.
The fold in he painted is actually, they're actually painted like big paintings, right?
Yeah. He would make the original the final painting, slit it in half on his drawing board, then move it to the side, and then fill in the middle so that the painting was obscured when you saw it as a whole and didn't see the answer until it folded in. He did that up to 99. At 99, he thought, I'm going to stop doing that.
I saw that Mad Magazine announced recently they have a new fold-in artist. But
Johnny Simpson.
But there'll only be one Al Jaffe.
Al Jaffe.
100 years old. And is he sharp?
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
He's, we had he had family coming in and out, and so we only spoke for a minute, but it's great. He's my hero.
He's really, and along with a guy named Dick DeBartolo, really the backbone.
He's my other hero.
Of Mad Magazine that I grew up with, and it's where I learned everything I know about life. So happy birthday, Al. Wow, 100 years old. It just shows if you do something you love, you live forever.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to go on forever, too.
Oh, I hope so. I'm a little verschluggener.
Very funny.
That's really a great thing to memorialize. That's really good. Good to remember. Still around, still making people laugh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Dick DeBartolo is also a Mad Magazine favorite. You can find lots of great stuff on his website, including a link to the Takui. GizWiz.biz. To find the Takui, click the link that says the GizWiz visits the tech guy, but there's also gadgets he shows off on ABC's World News Now. There's Mad Magazine memorabilia, including Dick's book, Good Days in Mad, and I'm sure Al Jaffe features a little bit in there.
Absolutely.
And, of course, you can play the What the Heck Is It contest, a chance to identify a close-up picture, brand new contest, started with the month of March, close-up picture of a gizmo or a gadget. You figure out what it is. You're in the running for an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. Actually, you're in the running even if you don't figure out what it is, if you just come up with a good, clever guess. GizWiz.biz. Dick's GizWiz podcast is at GizWiz.tv, and he joins us every week. Talk about verschluggener things. That's really a good word. I don't even know what verschluggener means. I just know I read it every...
Well, no one does. And Patrazibi. No one knows what that is either.
Well, I almost said Patrazibi, but I didn't know how to pronounce it. So now I know.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good.
I've read it for 100 years, but now I know how to say it. Thank you, Dickie D.
Okay, buddy.
Have
See
a
you
good
next
one.
week.
Take care. Thanks, Professor Laura, our musical director, Kim Schaffer, my phone angel. Thanks to you for joining me. We've come to the end of today's show. Come back next time, won't you? Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWiT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on MacBreak Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.